to dining with Rellcrumbs. Oh, episode. I'm sweating because I was in the kitchen whipping. Episode 2. I made some French toast, splash of nutmeg and some other mysterious things in there. You probably can figure them out. But I never have tried nutmeg this time. I also put honey. It's my French toast, my eggs. I made like 6 or 7 eggs. But yeah, all right, let's get into the episode. Oh, actually, there we go. I was gonna have honestly, no, let's just start. I don't really know what to talk about in these episodes. I'm honestly just winging it. I got a good idea to eat and do something like this, so why not do it? I'm not gonna lie. I already took like 5 bites before I started. Ooh. Don't need to really roll up the sleeves, but oh man. It's gonna be one of the best episodes ever. So today actually ends my super unhinged manifesting series, but as I told everyone in the series, it doesn't end in real life because this is a lifestyle, you know? Hate using the word manifest. But this is a lifestyle, you know? You're always materializing, so there's no point to just after a challenge stop, you know? You become the new identity. And I sure have. But I'm not going to spoil anything. You should come and see, depending on when you're seeing this, you should come and see the final episode and the result of everything from my series. And funny enough, I'm filming this before I actually film the finale because today's the last day. But yeah, and I'm due for a retwist. And I think I'm going to try to go in, not an entire year, but I'm going to go a long time without retwisting. Oh man, the series was fun. Every time I do one of these series, I just build a whole bunch more credibility for myself and I feel even more awesome. And I learned a couple things about myself that I don't want to spoil for this video. Or well, spoil for the video I'm going to film, so I'm not going to say it, but I learned a lot about myself. I learned a lot about the world, and I learned a lot about what the world was trying to project to me as I was going through the process of becoming the identity that I'm pretty sure I am now. We'll see. So good. But yeah, I guess I'll just start yapping about things. So, if you guys are curious about me, I've been in this spiritual game, metaphysical game, I don't know, whatever we want to call it, for years. It saved my life. And I really mean that. Like, it's so funny when I see comments, and again, there's no disrespect. Always refer people back to this episode in the series if they're curious. Episode 2. You know, someone out there is going to start referring people. I'm going to have people referring. I had people quoting me on my main channel. I love it. I would just say things that all of a sudden came out philosophical. And the same thing is going to happen with this channel, and it has. I mean, I've been getting emails from people that are like, dude, there's something about you. I'm doing this and blah, blah, blah. And I've been connecting with really cool individuals. So I'm glad, because that's the purpose of this channel. You know, if you feel alone out there, I know how it can be. So if I'm like a lighthouse, awesome. A lighthouse for beings sailing on ships of similar interests. So anyways, at Port Rellcrumbs, let's talk about how it saved me. People don't know this. You can go to the earliest video on the channel where I talked about how I had my awakening. But about the comments that people will leave, there will be certain comments that be like, no, we are nothing without Christ. We are nothing without, and they just come off so aggressive. Or honestly, that could be my perception of it, because you can't really tell if someone's angry through a text unless it's like all caps and very deliberate. But a lot of text and, fighting and comments that I've seen, like just not my own comments, is very passive aggressive, or sometimes they try to come off like the smart guy, yada 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 yada. It's very hard to tell what someone really means, but there are those comments that you can tell. We are nothing without Christ. And it's like, it's funny because you're right in your own reality, but you're also right in a way that I don't think you know or are aware of. But who am I to say that for someone else? Because your relationship with God and Christ are individual. It's one-on-one. So I think it's funny when I see Christians who are like more extremists, say, oh, one day you'll know. Man, I started getting that. And it was so funny because it's like, I'm already connected with God. Y'all don't even understand. I feel zen 100% of the time. Like, okay, a little bit of cap, 90%. I would say 10% is like old identity things that try to come up. But my mind is mostly quiet. It's only when I try to make significant, huge shifts that it goes another place. But when it comes to feeling pure joy in everything, I literally feel it within. And that's because of how I became awakened. I literally don't hear people talk about these stories online. This is why I feel like I have one of the best stories in my own reality, and I know I have one of the best stories. I was literally on train tracks, screaming at the top of my lungs, in my head a little bit, yelling, kind of like, there was one time I was yelling. It was like freaking 4 a.m. on train tracks out in the middle of nowhere. Like, I will box the God and the devil. I will make a contract with something in the universe so I'm stronger than both entities. Like, I was not kidding. And my heart was heard. Your words were heard, because I got led to everything. And I mean, I felt vibrations in my body. Oh my gosh, stuff that I can't even put in words, where I was like, and even one day hearing a clear voice that was like, you are God. Like, I'm not even kidding, just like that. That shit woke me out of my sleep. So I ran in the bathroom mirror and had to check. Like, I'm not lying to you guys like this. So it's, I just find it funny when someone comes along and they're like, without Christ, we're nothing. Bro, Christ and God revealed himself to me. Buddha too. All in one night. All of them did. All liberated beings. I found out real time what it was. But see, at the time, I don't even think I was still ready for that, because I still, went through being a human. But now, 26, And I would talk to people who were very godly. Some of them that were aware of manifestation. Some of them would literally tell me that they found God, but then they would, in the same sentence, tell me that they feel like they didn't deserve to meditate or go deep within themselves and meet, and I felt so bad for them. Like, I really felt for them, because I'm like, I wonder what in your life made you feel that way. Because to me, in my reality, what I've learned is prayer and meditation are the same thing. And I've communed with crazy shit. Let me tell you, there's so much more to reality that you think. Like, oh man, if I get on these videos and really start talking about what I've seen and known for myself, I might go viral overnight. That might be the move. Crazy dreams I've had. Anyways, all that to say is, for some reason, what I've observed in reality is it feels like, and I don't mean to offend anyone literally when I say this, I'm just saying it, Christians have some sort of self-hatred, like a deep, deep rooted self-hatred. And it's like, yo, you're good. Why would God, like, honestly, there wouldn't be a single person here that could teach me that just for existing, like, I'm a sin. But I get exactly what they're saying, because it's like, it's just so interesting. It's so interesting how groups of people, it's like I get it. People do need religion because it's almost like the Bible and certain preachers and stuff stop a level of frequency that would be out of control without religion. But it's like when you're a being that has a very, very high self-awareness, it's like religion falls apart in 2 seconds, because it's like, I don't need a book to tell me thou shalt not steal and things like that. But for some beings, I get where you may need that, because without a book telling you, his shit might go haywire, which is why I don't judge people. But it's so funny when they always come to me and try to judge me and say like, oh, without Christ, we're nothing. And it's like, no, I'm pretty good with Christ is my brother. Like, I'm pretty good without him because I'm me. But keep putting me under something else in existence. Like, it's like self-hatred. Why can't you be great in the universe, like these beings to exist? And it's like that creates some sort of lapse in their judgment or thinking. And I don't get how. It's like only this guy, Christ, because he was the son of God and everything, can only be. But like, what about these other cultures and mythologies, like Greek mythology, Egyptian mythology, and all this, where there's beings that work with this magic, that work with, mystics that have existed. No one else can be legendary. And I think it takes a very powerful being to become a figure like Christ or Buddha, or, because they're really authentically being them and not giving a shit. And then that's why their conclusion to after they became what they became was, you be your own lamp, as Buddha said, or Christ. I am the way, meaning you through I am, all things are possible. I am is consciousness, the I am consciousness, the Father. You are the I am. I, the Lord, do the good and evil. So there's technically no devil. It's literally just all God. And God sends Satan, because technically, if you look at it, even I've never even heard someone break it down like this, but think about how like God sends Satan to go touch, like, hey, go see if this person is faithful for me, or the ways it's been broken down that I've seen in the Bible. It's like, but that's still God, bro. You get what I'm saying? It's like God knows all things. So then at the end of the day, it's funny because, when I think about faith, it's like, why is anyone scared about anything then? You really shouldn't be scared, because if God knows we win at the end of the day, like all of this, everything works out, and through I am, everything is possible, then there's a reality where every single thing that like a content creator talks about, whether it be, going into the conspiracies, let's say, the more conspiracy stuff, and then the stuff that proved a lot of what we were talking about, weather control and all that, true, which is funny. I used to get called crazy for that. I actually was getting shadow banned back when I was like 18 for talking about that sort of stuff on my Snapchat. But you shouldn't be scared, because if the new earth and consciousness wins at the end of the day, we're already fated to win. There's nothing else to do. All this talk of racism, this and that. Why are you scared? God gonna take care of that. And the thing is I've lived my life like that. Here's a big thing that I've never talked about on my channel, Lunar Was Lost. Even when I experienced things that could be deemed as racism when I was younger, my identity and consciousness on the matter is what caused me to experience like literally shifting people. And it wasn't me shifting people, but it was shit at the time I would have been aware of it as shifting people. But I literally I had a girlfriend where I think it was her stepfather, didn't want his kids around me because I was black. That's what I had heard. And I don't even know. I don't need to go and revise this story because I don't have built up anger. And even at the time, I think I was like 16, 17. And I just looked at it and just was like, okay, whatever. Funny enough, as I approached it with that, I was like, yo, his kids love me. It doesn't matter. Like I'm not worried about what, he doesn't even exist in my reality. Like, I feel like just whatever pain he went through with maybe a person of color or wherever it comes from, if it's inherited, it doesn't matter when it comes to me. I'm an anomaly. I literally kid you not. This is something I said when I was younger, but I didn't realize I was manifesting. Had to be like a week or a week and a half later, or maybe it was more time because time kind of condenses. He ends up saying, hey, the kids want Rel to take them to the park, and could he take them to the park if they want? And they wanted to hang out with me so much. That's actually a W that I have. I'm glad that like young kids like to like, gotta be careful how I say this. They feel safe, like they feel safe with me. And it's funny because I laugh at that because I think kids are annoying as fuck sometimes. And I like them. They're like little homies, right? But for fuck's sake, you know, sometimes I'm glad that, because that'll save any fucking weird ass thing. I didn't want to sound odd when I'm like, you know, because it's a collective consciousness of when a fucking man, there's an attack on that. I think about the video game Pragmata, where it's literally a father and daughter relationship. Like not a father and daughter relationship. The main character in Pragmata is taking care of an android girl, and they literally have like a father and daughter relationship. But fucking weirdos on the internet really tried to take that and say it was something else, or it was appealing to that crowd. And I was like, oh, I thought I was losing my mind when I heard that too, and said, man, the internet is such a double-edged sword. I seen someone comment that social media used to be social media, and now it's social media, if you get that. That was a beautiful comment. I don't know who you were, sir, but you were reflecting my consciousness. Because you know how, like, the media and news is propaganda? That feels like most of the media, social media now, is propaganda with the people who have also been brainwashed by the propaganda. So they themselves have become the media, the propaganda. Anyway, but yeah, he turned around. I've had other occurrences, of course. Have I just been literally walking? What was so funny is, let me show you how there was a free, like, well, not a free, there was like a Ty Dolla $ign concert at the university in my town. Ty Dolla $ign was coming there. It was pretty cool. He was like right next to us in the crowd because he jumped off stage. Apparently people said he was smoking with people in the crowd. I don't know if that's true. I'm not sure he would be passing, but maybe he was cool like that. I'm not sure. I didn't even realize, but I don't know. Celebrities are just normal to me. Actually, a funny thing is, yesterday I felt like crashing out. So I shared, I don't know if she runs her own account, but I shared, and this is normal for me anyways on Lunar Was Lost, but I shared Tinashe's new song, and funny enough, it was Crash Out, See How Reality Works. And she ended up viewing my story after I shared it. That was very funny. I was like, oh, hey Tinashe, how you doing? Tinashe, if you're watching, hi. Keep doing you, girl. Anyways, so, but that was a funny day. But before we got to that concert, there was apparently a guy got robbed in broad daylight. And what had me crack up was cops pulled over and said, hey, can we speak to y'all? Like, where are you going? Blah, blah, blah. And it was weird. They didn't even, like, they said, yeah, 1 sec, but we got to catch an Uber. Like, our Uber is right there. And I was just like, you can follow us. Like, I don't care. Because to me, I don't exist. Even at my mindset then, I didn't give in to the fear of, like, officers or cops. I never had bad comments. I actually had such a cool relationship with our school officer, who's just like a school guard. I didn't live in like a bad area. It was literally mostly white, but white and Italian. That's why these occurrences happened. Well, not white, not just white and Italian, but we did have like a literal Italian street. But these cops pulled over on us just walking to get to this concert, right? Because we had to take an Uber across to the other town that it was in. And the cop tells us a guy was robbed in broad daylight. I think it was 2 cops. And so let me show you how I realize reality will protect you. So the cop just tells us, like, you know, is like asking us the questions. Where do you live? Kind of coming off intense. But I just said, we're literally going to a concert. Like, we're not doing anything. And also, this is where I got him. Is I said, wait, were we coming the direction the guy got robbed? He didn't answer me. He kind of like tried to dodge it. And then I was also like, what did it even look like? What did they describe the person as? Because did the person get robbed in broad daylight by 2 people or 1? Because that doesn't make sense. We're not even coming from the direction that you guys were going. That I don't think they even answered me. Because another cop pulled up. The dude looked like he looked like puzzled, or kind of like, okay, we know we don't have them, but fuck it, we got to continue this. Now, it wasn't even intense. It wasn't scary. They weren't, where you live, what are your names, blah, blah, blah. We were just like honest. And again, the Uber was at my friend's house, so we were outside his house. So they, no one was really going to lie, right? But here's what made it funnier. The Uber driver, I think he got out, if I remember. Did he get out? I'm pretty sure he got out. But I remember my friend and I literally looking at this scenario being like, what the fuck? Because he was like, were they profiling you or something? They were profiling you, because he got out the car and said something. I think he may have said like, leave these kids alone. It was a white dude. And it was fucking like an angel. Like, I'm not going to say we needed an angel, but it was like an angel based on how people talk about what fucking black people go through in America. And trust me, I've had my fair share. It just cracks me up, like how, I'm not going to go down that rabbit hole. But anyways, nonetheless, I think this dude, if I remember properly, whatever, I'm going to remember it like this, because this dude was intense when we got in the car too. Shout out to him if he's still alive or doing his life. Thank you, because it felt honorable. It was cool as shit. It felt like having a guardian angel. And I'm pretty sure he did get out the car and start talking to the cops or whatever. And they left. They ended up leaving or whatever. He was like, these kids didn't do anything. Like, and I was like, I'm pretty sure he did get out the car, because I'm pretty sure he said to them that we didn't do anything. And my mind at the time was like, I mean, he doesn't know that, but, well, the infinite does. Because now that I'm conscious, I understand how things work. I was like, oh shit, yeah, go get him. And he took us, and he ended up telling us a little bit about his backstory, where he hates shit like that. He absolutely hates shit like that. And that shit cracked me up. And I was like, well, not his story didn't crack me up, but at first his intensity cracked me up. But afterwards, listening to what he was saying, I got exactly why he rode in the battle. And I don't know, it was just a beautiful experience. And we got to the concert. I don't remember the original reason I was telling this story, but I think, just like the things I've experienced. Because going back to this whole God consciousness stuff, it's like, it's just funny to me. We're all consciousness. It's one love. We're all a part of the same connected source. And I feel like a lot of these things that I see online, they would literally be beaten if you could get everyone to at least agree to looking within themselves. I see so many like different spiritual content creators, and good work to all of you out there doing the good work, decoding reality and everything. I've done it too. I do gematria and etymology and everything. I learned crazy stuff about my name, that it means spear ruler. My voice is thundering and heard, which is funny because I'm very outspoken. This is all before I knew this. Like, I grew my channel, Lunar Was Lost, pretty big, and then I realized like people really felt the things I was saying. It was impactful, and I was like, wow. And then I find out that you break down my name, Ja, and the different parts, it's like, so again, there's a lot of cool codes to reality, and coding and decoding yourself and your name and where you come from and all that. And there's so many layers to it. But I think where people get lost in the sauce is where they just like try to combat within and I swear these people have to be agents, because I don't really care. I talk about like when a content creator is trying to like sound like the smart dude or say something that like contradicts what consciousness is supposed to be about, which is just you, the individual spiritual journey. So you can't really tell someone if they're doing something wrong or right unless they're using your built system. You get what I'm saying? Or a spiritual system that exists. And I talk about this in spiritual rant videos all the time. But I can't necessarily tell you you're manifesting wrong or right. I can only tell you where you may be going wrong, and maybe you want to try something else. But nothing you do is necessarily wrong, because it's always going to lead you back to the source anyways. You're never not being God, and God is never not being around you, Christ or not. If you didn't know what Christ was and you lived on a remote island, you would still be connected with God. You don't have to see a Christian missionary or something come to the island and fucking train you. Like, no, you were God. And that's what people miss. And I used to have that conversation with people. It used to bother me because I'm like, it literally, for people who are supposed to come off as the most accepting people, like no one else but them can be right or exist. And this, I know I'm talking about more of the extremer side, but it's like, it's never just a, oh, you believe what you believe, that's cool. I believe in God, Jesus Christ. That's my God. Move on. No, it's like, you'll say how you're spiritual or whatever, you're into this work or some sort of thing, you're conscious. I like saying I'm conscious. And they'll be like, oh, well, yeah, I mean, that's cool. And they'll be physically repulsed. And it's like, but why? My existence has nothing to do with yours. I don't know. 26 minutes. This is gluttony. Just that type of greed and gluttony they talk about in the Bible. If you guys have ever seen those memes. Nah, but seriously, sometimes I feel really good about a lot of things happening in my life. Like I said, I got a really cool job offer that has a company car and everything. But I think I made the mistake because I was efforting too much to get it. And I'm a bit concerned that it's going to play out the same way this old job did. And I ended up, caving. I did a little search because I was just curious about what other people experience. And it matched, because reality is the algorithm of me. Of course, the search result I found that most people say you don't want to effort when it comes to creating reality, because if you're efforting, it's usually because of something that's happening in the 3D to you, rather than actually just being about it and just being it for you. And I noticed that the reason I was even looking into the career that I was looking for was because of the people around me. And I said, I need to stop doing that, because I literally manifested a job that was $100K salary a year. And of course I fumbled it years ago. I'm not telling myself that. I actually got it. So whatever. If you know, you know. But at the end of the day, I wasn't being true during that series all the way to me. Now, I reaped the rewards and the benefits of going this off in my mind. But now it's like, okay, now that I have the foundation set and things are coming and opportunities are hitting me and interviews literally are just hitting me, it's time to direct it to something that I know will be aligned with me, rather than just trying to take something so I don't look a certain way to everyone. Because I don't give a shit. I've never really cared what I look like to anyone. It's just, that being a human, that's the thing that comes back to get you so subtly sometimes. Because it just does. It really does. When you have certain people in your life, but it's funny because some of the best advice ever, whether it's Gary Vee, all the way to Tony Robbins, all the way to Aaron Doughty, just all over the place, even to the top YouTubers, is you really just cannot care about what anyone is going to think about your life for it to materialize in the right way. Like, and I know some people out there with certain circumstances. I'm not really saying this advice for you. Like, if you're somewhere out there where you really have to keep your job and it's the only choice you have and everything, do what you got to do. But when you put yourself in a position to get out of that job, don't lock yourself down. And that's the thing. I'm in the position where I don't necessarily need to work instantly right now. Now, if I want to meet a certain goal, everything, but I have been working. I've been building my businesses and everything. So it's like, my social medias. So, and they're some of the best ways to create abundance. And I know this already because I'm partnered with YouTube on another channel. But there's just still that aching sometimes. It's like the old frequency. And it's like the old frequency on its way out. And that's kind of what I'm not aware of, but I'm aware of it, but it's not my default reality anymore. So I'm never really worried about what people are thinking about me when it comes to what I'm doing in life and all this. But because there was a point in time where that was heavily, I've had the eyes on me from everybody. Oh, what's Rel doing? What's that? Oh, he's doing this, he's doing that. Even when I started my YouTube channel and I accidentally told a few family members, I had an extended family member, which I heard he's doing good now. He's not like connected. He was connected through if my aunt would have got married to him. Say that I should curse less in my YouTube videos. But I was still making the same amount of money. Yes, trust me, I know. If I might as well curse less in my video, I might as well make Roblox videos and just because to me content creation is about authenticity, and I swear. But I remember when he said that and I cracked up, and I just thought to myself, why, since a kid, why are grown men so concerned with what this a young guy is doing before I was becoming a grown man myself? I was why are there so many eyes on me? And I really try to dictate it in my I really try to discern in my energy where that was coming from and where that was manifesting. And that's why in my early years of creating reality, I was really still distorted, because I was trying to figure out why me, why all this psychic stuff, why, and then I realized, oh, the point isn't to be stuck on the why. It's really to just pull yourself up by your bootstraps and push forward, but in a consciousness sense. Look, God picked you to come out of the world. Time to get a move on. You are no longer of the world. You are in the world, but you're no longer of the world. And then I had to realize, that's me. So I've come to the big realization. It's time to let all that old frequency go. I still have food. I'm going to go enjoy the rest of my food before it gets way, way too cold. But I want to thank each and every one of you for stopping in here. I love you guys. I love doing a series like this. And it's going to just get bigger and better. All right, peace out. That's Dining with Rellcrumbs, episode 2.